In my mind, the original Resident Evil is comparable in a way to the original Star Wars. Stay with me. In the fact that it's a very popular and important piece of history in the respective mediums. But as the years have gone on, less and less people have experienced them as they were when they first came out, having been replaced with newer, shinier versions. Star Wars, released in 1977, has almost entirely been lost to time, and that was kind of almost the case for Resident Evil, which for the longest time has been unavailable to buy. The only way to get it being the director's cut on PlayStation, that for some dumbass reason, you can only get via PS Plus Deluxe. But last year, 2024, the director's cut was finally released from the shackles of PlayStation Plus, and is now available to buy, and is also now fully playable, easily and natively on PC thanks to GOG, which is the version I played for this video. Now this amazing part of gaming history is easier to access than ever, so now we can ask the question, what even was Resident Evil? The port I played is based on the 1998 PC port, which is for what I can tell based on the original version of the game with a few small changes, such as auto-aim, which was originally only in the Japanese version, and the ability to skip door transitions, which thank God. I like the door transitions. They build so much tension the first few times you play, but if you've played as much as I have, it's a welcome change to be able to rush through them. To start the game, you either have to pick Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, which is secretly a way to choose your difficulty. Jill's being an easy mode, where you have more inventory slots, a lockpick to enter certain areas sooner, and Barry for support. Specifically for the port I played, Jill also gets infinite saves, which makes the game way easier and way less frustrating. While researching, I read that Jill is faster and has a smaller hitbox than Chris, while Chris has more health, but I didn't really notice, not gonna lie. The game begins with a live action cutscene, and it might be my favorite part of the whole game. It's so stupid and bad, but that's a part of the charm. Everything about it is so campy, from Chris's dumb face to the way he says, "No, don't go," to Wesker wearing sunglasses at night and his stupid hair looking like it's spray painted. The practical effects are surprisingly good though. This port is my first time seeing the uncensored cut, and it's pretty gruesome. So much so, I think I have to censor it for this video. Just listen to the horror in Jill's voice as she sees her teammate mauled to death. Joseph! Then there's this amazingly cheesy cast scene. Chris Redfield, age 25, height 180 centimeters, dick size bigger than yours. Now you've entered the world of survival horror.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
This game is considered the first true survival horror game. There were other games such as Sweet Home and Alone in the Dark, and I don't mean to discredit them for everything they did, but Resident Evil was the first game to be labeled survival horror, and created the basis for future games in the genre. You start with nothing, and you're only able to explore a small part of the mansion, controlling your character with tank controls. I don't get the hate some have for tank controls. I think they're a great way to control a game like this. Tank controls basically are, you press forward to go forward and back to go back, then left and right rotates your character. The part some people struggle with is that it's all relative to your character, not the camera. So when you push forwards, your character walks forwards from the way they're facing. It takes a bit of time to get used to, but I think they work very well for this game because of the fixed cameras. Since every room has multiple camera angles that you swap between as you walk around, it just makes sense to hold forwards and makes your character walk the way they are facing instead. For being one of the first survival horror games, it's crazy how much it gets right. It's fair. Most of the time, and has extremely engaging exploration. This is such a satisfying gameplay loop. It's just you versus the mansion. The first thing you gotta know about Resident Evil is that this isn't a zombie shooting game for most of it. You get like 2 bullets in the game, and the zombies take a lot of bullets, so most of the time you'll want to walk around them, which sounds difficult, but don't worry. I've played a Resident Evil before, okay? Don't worry about it, I got this. You only want to clear out enemies in areas you're going to travel a lot, like the hallways around safe rooms. Items and inventory management is the main pillar of this game. Obviously, ammo is an item, and so is healing, but weapons take up a space as well. So if you want to take a pistol, shotgun, and 1 healing item, with no extra ammo, that's already 3 of the 6 slots, plus whatever keys and other items you might need. So it's a big guessing game of what you need and how confident you are with less resources. And making a poor choice usually leads to death, which takes you all the way back to the main menu to reload your save, which is also an item, by the way. You save with typewriters, which require an item called ink ribbons, which you don't get a lot of. So there's another game of, do I save now and hold on to my ink ribbons, or do I leave it and risk losing a ton of progress when I die? And dying hurts even more when you realize you can't skip cutscenes. I've seen Rebecca play the piano more times than I can count. but dying also allows you to optimize your routes and learn from your mistakes. Like I interacted with this corpse and was attacked by crows, taking damage. But after I died, I was able to carefully take the item without interacting with it and get away safely. For most of the game, you are very weak and everything is out to get you. Fuck! But as the game goes on, you slowly open up the mansion, slowly conquer your fear, and blast through zombies you were once too scared to go near. But the game does a good job at keeping you on your toes, with constant new enemy types being introduced, like the doggies, which actually scared the shit out of me at one point. I mostly play the remake when I want my RE1 fix, and that game has a cheeky thing in the dog hallway, where the glass on the window cracks, then the doggies jump through the second time you go through. But in the original, they just crashed through. An enemy I wish came back in the more recent games is the giant spiders. They are creepily realistic in this game. The animations are spot on, and they caught me off guard as well. When they were in the mansion, I swear this doesn't happen in the remake. But the scariest of all are the bees.
What a monster.
In all seriousness, about halfway through the game, they introduced the hunters. These goofy lizard guys with stupid faces. These guys are scary because they're fast, loud, and have an insta-kill move. I usually clear all these guys out just so they don't sneak up on me. There's also a couple of boss fights in this game. Looking at my notes, I have underwhelming next to almost every boss. They do vary quite a bit. The first being a giant snake called Yawn, because he opens his mouth wide, I get it. The first time you face him, you can just walk past him, get the item, then leave. Then later he comes back with scars all over his body, even though you never attacked him. Must have fallen down the stairs or something. But he goes down pretty easily. I always over-prepare for this fight. Yawn just always reminds me of the snake from Disney Pixar's Up, the video game. Does anyone remember that game? I barely do, but that snake part stuck with me. I thought it was the most epic thing in the world when I was a kid. Elder abuse is always fun for a kid. Anyway, what are we talking about? Resident Evil, right? Yeah, the second, that's not the second boss, that's a mistake in my own script. Yeah, there's a big ass spider. It died from one flame round. That was pretty cool. The big ass plant! This was the first challenging one because I couldn't figure out how to make the V-Jolt. I pressed X on everything in the room and nothing. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know if my game was bugged or what, but I actually fought the plant as Jill for once in my life. This is not a boss fight, but more of a unique encounter, the Shark or Neptune. It's parts like this that make me love the remake even more. I know people are going to get annoyed at me for comparing this game to the remake, but it's so hard not to. This game did so much right, especially for the first try, but it's hard not to notice the small quirks of this game being the first. Like how the text takes forever, how there's no low health animations, and no quick turns. Also how 80% of this game's puzzles are just pushing shit. But this game also has so much charm to it. Like when you get the password right in the lab, you do a little finger gun. Or like how if you shoot the screen, it'll actually crack like you shot the camera. The music, which is sometimes the most beautiful music in existence, or other times it's...
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
And the acting. It's so bad, it's good. This game is endlessly quotable. I'm always randomly blurting out Barry Burton lines like, I've got this. It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. What a monster. And you can't forget the most famous.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
This game just makes me smile like comfort food. I said in another video that this game was not worth playing unless you're a hardcore fan, and I got a lot of pushback for that deservingly. I worded that in the worst possible way. What I meant was this game probably shouldn't be your first Resident Evil game, even though it is the first Resident Evil game. And it's not one you really need to play. But if you already like Resident Evil, you should definitely go back and give this game a go. Even if it's just for the memes, it's more accessible than ever now, so no reason not to, and I definitely recommend it. But that's just my take. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. My next video will probably be on Devil May Cry, the original one, because of the anime coming out, but I actually haven't fully decided on my next video yet, so it might be something like completely random, like Disney Pixar's Up, the video game, who knows. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in a minute.